Chapter 12. A head wrapped in bandages. Elsewhere that evening, in a luxurious hotel suite, a beautiful woman in a shimmering white gown looked out a tall window at the city lights below. Her face reflecting the glass was as pale as snow, her eyes as cold as ice. Her blonde hair, shiny and unmoving, curled outward at the ends like the petals of flowers frozen in mid-bloom. And yet, at her waist, her body curved inward to an almost impossible degree, as if all the air had been squeezed out of her, along with the warmth. Only her hands, hidden by long white gloves, moved even a tiny bit. They were splayed on the window, trembling slightly, as if she wanted nothing more than to grasp the city below and make it her own. Yes, this was Miss Mervis. I know you recognized her immediately. The line description wasn't necessary, but I felt like writing it. "Tell me why you are here," she says. Her voice is soft and comforting as shattering glass. "Surely you have not risen from the dead just to say hello." The only response was labored breathing, like the sound of a lung patient on a respirator, and a faint gasp of helplessness. Then, as if from far away, came a voice. It was dry and raspy and muffled. Each word was a cry of despair. "I need your help." Miss Marvis regarded the reflection behind her own. Over her shoulder, her head was just visible, wrapped in long white bandages. Haunted eyes stared out between the strips of linen. "Yes, my darling creature, it's my skin. That's why you came all this way to see me? A few blemishes?" "Not just a few," the creature protested. "It's really bad. I can't live with myself." Miss Marvis turned to face her visitor. Below the mummy-like head were two claws of a fashionable young girl, with twin hearts, t-shirts, skinny jeans, and ballet flats. Now, of course you can't, darling. Your skin is your skin. It's irreplaceable, almost." Miss Marvis laughed mirthfully. "Nothing is of more immediate concern than one's outward appearance. I myself once crossed 2 continents to have a single wrinkle removed." She pointed to her plaster-smooth forehead. "You can't see it now, can you?" The girl standing in front of Miss Marvis shook her head, as best as she could given the bandage crisscrossing her face. Miss Marvis regarded her skeptically. "Amanda, isn't it?" "Amber," the girl said. The bandages puffed in and out with each syllable. "Of course, how silly of me. Amanda. It's so nice to see you again. Please help me, please. My doctor gave me something, but it almost made me blind." Amber started to sob. "You realize crying is only going to make it worse. It reddens your cheeks," said Miss Marvis without a trace of sympathy. "Well, let's have a look." Amber slowly unpeeled the bandages and revealed her face, leaving the strips a sticky heap on the carpet. It was a face that would have struck terror into the hearts of boys and girls of a certain age everywhere. The acne started at Amber's hairline and didn't stop until it reached her collarbone. It covered so much of her face that only her eyeballs were unblemished. It was as if her acne had acne. There were whiteheads and blackheads and big, bloody redheads. There were pimples on top of pimples on top of pimples. Some were deeply buried like dormant volcanoes, others had risen to the surface, fiery mountains aching to burst. Still others had already erupted, leaving trails of zit lava smeared across Amber's epidermal layer, gooey evidence of the tremendous geothermal activity underneath. Few bits of clear skin that remained were red and raw from all the scratching and scraping and squeezing and tweezing. It was painful to look at her. Expressionless, Miss Marvis studied Amber for a moment. "Thank you, that's enough." She motioned for Amber to put the bandages back on. "It's worse than I imagined. I'd hope those bandages hold up. You may want to put a paper bag over your head just in case." "Can you fix me?" asked Amber. She did her best to rewrap herself, using the window as a mirror. "Can I, or will I?" There was a knock at the door. An exceptionally tall, broad woman. She could have been a basketball player or a linebacker. Her choice shuffled in. "Yes, Daisy, I have a message," said Daisy hesitantly. "Should I wait?" She nodded meaningfully at Amber's direction. "No need to worry about her." Miss Marvis waved her hand dismissively, as if Amber were no more consequential than a potted plant. "It's about those kids." "Which kids? There are so many these days." "You know which," said Daisy, her brow furrowed in irritation. "Cassandra and her gang." "Oh, them," said Miss Marvis without betraying her slightest bit of emotion. Are they still kids? One feels like they should be old by now. They've already caused so much vexation in their short, meaningless little lives. Lord Pharaoh says they have something he wants. He says you'll know what it is. I see. Don't you want me to get it for you? Daisy's gloved hand clutched each other as if they were already anticipating wringing the necks of her young victims. No, I do not, snapped Miss Marvis. I told you to stay out of the way, all of you. As you wish, madame, said Daisy, disappointed. Now get out, you pathetic oaf. As Daisy shuffled out, Miss Marvis turned back to Amber. Amanda, dear, perhaps I will help you after all. Amber whimpered hopefully.